Welcome to the Coast to Coast podcast, brought to you by Play Picks and the Lines, coming to you from the West Coast. Josh Lander, joined as always by my guy on the East Coast, Nate Weitzer, and we are jumping into Milwaukee, Miami, a couple teams that have faced off in the playoffs recently with mixed success. Bucks obviously took that series last year and won the chip. We'll jump into what these teams look like this year. Obviously, Miami, much different squad, a lot of D. We'll see how they match up with the Bucks. We're already 1-0, but as always, if you do still need a FanDuel account or DraftKings account, head to fdpicks.com or dkpicks.com and find those listings in your area, such as Bucks and Heat. Nate, let's jump into it.
Yeah, it opened with the Bucks as 3-point road favorites, and the Heat have actually drawn a little action now, 2.5 for the Bucks. The over is climbing slightly as well to 224, which isn't surprising when we saw the Bucks put up 127 in their opener. Clearly not showing any sort of letdown after the championship, really just playing more freely, especially Giannis, who, as we said, kind of unlocked his offensive game in the playoffs last year, continued to showcase a little bit of a better jumper and hook against the Nets. Like we said in the preseason episode about MVP, he should be the favorite. I mean, basically, he's definitely where the smart money is. He's now down to plus 700 for MVP from plus 900. But I think you should get him now before Luka Doncic throws out a potential stinker or two and is no longer the favorite. Giannis is just on a mission, and this is part 2 of that mission. It's not just some letdown game against Detroit or something. This is Miami, which, like you said, embarrassed them 2 years ago in the bubble. Since then, they've won in the playoffs. They've won 5 straight over Miami. And 2 of the last 3 meetings went over, and those were playoff games with a lot of intensity. So I think just because this is a home opener and the crowd will be at their back, they'll be playing good defense, does not necessarily mean we're going to get an under. In fact, 8 of the last 9 home openers for Miami have gone over. Kyle Lowry adds a little bit more offense for them. I think he will add, unlock some good shot creation. And then you have Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson, who just continue to get better. I mean, Hero had a down year last year, but has reportedly put in a ton of work, gotten stronger, more of a playmaker this year. I'm just looking at the over first and foremost because the way these teams play each other, it's kind of hard to pick a winner. Obviously, I'd lean Bucks just because they've looked dominant, and the Heat kind of had a down year last year, but I could easily see them stepping up and making this their statement as they open the season.
Yeah, I could see it. I think, I harken back to our conversation before the Bucks-Nets game where, you were kind of like, I don't know, Nets maybe, but close. And my thought process was Giannis is different. Giannis is built different. He doesn't care about having friends in the NBA. I don't think one championship is enough for him. I think he's different in that, like, once you win a championship, it's pretty easy to rest on your laurels, and I doubt that he's going to come even close to that. I think he's just going to step it up even more, make his case for MVP, as we said, take it at plus 900 before the season started in one of our episodes, because it is already down to plus 700 as we predicted after one really, really good game against the Nets' putrid defense that just was porous in that game especially. That's not going to be the case against Miami, but it's funny because I would like to go with the trend of the home team a little bit more to win for Miami in terms of like needing. I think they got embarrassed last year in the playoffs, just like they embarrassed the Bucks the year before, and I think they have a little bit of that motive in the edge there. But they're also a slightly newer team, and Kyle Lowry's not Goran Dragic, and they don't have the same wing players. Bjelica and Iguodala are both in Golden State, and Tyler Hero is the question to me, right? I think Duncan Robinson, we know what he is, and he'll be that for the rest of his career. He'll be a really tall shooter that will play until he's like 42, because if you're 6'8" and you can shoot that well, you don't have to move much. You'll always be wanted. That's his career, right? I think Tyler Hero has already told us that he wants to be compared to Luka Doncic and Trae Young. He wants to be in the same conversation as them, and he thinks he deserves to be. I don't know why, but I would love to see that this season. So it's really going to be, I think their offense is going to be really dependent on, those other guys. Is Tyler Hero able to be that really third playmaker, not just scorer, but playmaker for them alongside Kyle Lowry and Jimmy Buckets. So look, it's an interesting game, but I'm going to go with the consistency of Milwaukee at this point. It's only 2.5 points. And obviously that spread is largened for them since they crushed the Nets. And I would consider the over as well here, Nate, just because of the fact that I do think Miami's going to come out scoring, and we'll see how well their defense really comes together. I know they're supposed to be the best defensive unit since, I don't know, this side of 1995, but we got to see it first.
Yeah, I mean, and sometimes we chase narratives in terms of who has more to prove, but a lot of times it's really just about chemistry and momentum. And the Heat, while it looks like they could bounce back over the larger span of the season from a down year, I don't know if they're going to come out of the gates firing. Last year was pretty much a debacle for them. When you look at them going 15-21 against the spread at home, 3-7 against the spread when they're home dogs. After finishing number 1 in offensive efficiency at home last 2 seasons ago, they dropped to 22nd in offensive rating overall. I would look for that offense, like I said, to improve a little with Lowry in the picture. But I don't know if they can keep pace with the Bucks. I think the Bucks can score their 120 and win this game by 8 to 10 points. Milwaukee has not had any trouble with rest disadvantage. They went 10-5 in that situation last year. And they still averaged 119 points per game on the road, not showing much let up, but their defensive rating did increase to 111. So that's why I am thinking over. And I do like a prop, aside from just taking the Bucks team over, 113.5, since they're the ones going to be doing the heavy lifting for this over. I do like a prop on the Miami side. Bam Adebayo, 31.5 points, rebounds, assists. He averaged 13, 7.3, and 7.3 against Milwaukee over 3 meetings last year. Easily has a chance for a 20-10 game in this situation. Miami really has to lean on him as the quicker mismatch against Brook Lopez to kind of help them win that down low and to guard Giannis. And I think that's going to result in, I would maybe look at his rebound props straight up in what should be a fast-paced game.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it will be a little bit more fast-paced. I think Kyle Lowry comes in and is someone that, once again, can push the ball. He's a rebounding guard that's going to get it and go. I'm actually looking, we're talking player props in this one, at Jimmy Buckets. I am still playing. That's someone who I love to play the motive narrative with him. And when he's ready to bring it, he brings it. So I think, he's got something to prove. 20.5 points is what he's at right now. And I would take the over there because we don't know how the other guys are going to mesh with him. But we know that when Jimmy wants to go get his, he's going to. And I do see him feeling that pressure, right? Because it's going to be Milwaukee coming down and scoring, not at will, but, they're a hard team to stop. When we started the show, I was saying, Miami, maybe greatest defensive team ever. It's slightly jokingly, but I mean, they have the players for it. And you were like, yeah, but they're going up against maybe the best offense ever at this point. I mean, they're nasty. And Chris Middleton's going to come on and continue, I think, playing at an all-star level. But what that means is, Jimmy Buckets is going to feel the pressure of that ball going in the bucket a lot on Milwaukee's side, and the need for him to kind of carry his team at times. So I'll take the 20.5 points. I think he'll be all over the place, but still feeling good about the Bucks there. So that's all the time that we have for this one. We will be back with another Thursday show for you guys as we move on in this pretty small NBA slate, just getting kicked off here. Really excited to see what does happen in this matchup, Bucks and Heat tonight, as these teams have plenty of history and some new faces to go along with it. So we'll be following all of that. And until we see you all again, happy betting.